probably 20 or more articles on La Brea, and I'm sure some of you are familiar with the story of La Brea, but it's quite amazing. Um, the things they were getting out of this tar pit were absolutely mind blowing, and you hear very little about the really, really good ones. The skeleton of a prehistoric pygmy, 3 feet high, 200,000 years old, next to the trunk. Again, I don't agree with these dates, but we'll just go with them because that's what they're saying. Next to the trunk of a tree, still erect, covered by 20 feet of asphalt. Okay, so picture that. You got a tree standing erect, still in place, 20 feet of asphalt above it, and a pygmy found next to this tree. So yeah, AI, it doesn't make, there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. So again, it's this AI generated, and I like them, but there's a lot of weirdness. The AI doesn't make the most polished looking humans. They're obviously kind of strange looking, but now on way to Smithsonian Institute for examination by scholars. Okay, pretty common, huh? The skeleton of what appears to have been a prehistoric pygmy, less than 3 feet in height, is on its way today from the asphalt bed of La Brea to the Smithsonian Institution in Washington. Now, I've been to the museum down here. I've been to the La Brea tar pits several times. All the things on display are just kind of that silly, fanciful stuff that we hear about, like the really interesting stuff. They found 9 foot tall people, they found pygmies, they found all kinds of crazy things. They found birds with 40-foot wingspans, um, giant birds, like an ostrich, but they were 25 feet tall. Lots of really crazy stuff. Thousands and thousands of skeletons came out of this pit. So again, I ask you, what happened? Some amazing event and volcanic, I would say, to conceal these animals in this liquid to preserve them the way they were. Something pretty devastating. If the genuineness of the find is verified there, the La Brea skeleton will take its place in the history of anthropology as the first remains of antediluvian man found on the North American continent. To my mind, said Director Frank Daggett of the Museum of History, Science, and Art, under whose direction the excavations have been carried on, there can be no doubt that these bones are those of a man. To what geological period he belonged must be a matter of conjecture now. Only careful researchers yet to be made can determine the truth. Indications are that the skeleton belongs to the Pleistocene period, roughly placed at 200,000 years old. First was found the skull last Friday, and since then the remainder of the bones, said to be in excellent state of preservation, have been scraped from their casing of asphalt with the most minute and painstaking care. Nearby was the trunk, still erect, of a tree, the summit of which overlaid by 20 feet of asphalt. Close to the tree trunk were the bones of a mammoth bear, of a species already classified as belonging to the Pleistocene period. Scientists of the University of California have contended that North America and Asia were at one time joined, and that geologically speaking, the backbone of the continent is the Aleutian Islands. Across the neck of the land, they believe, came the Iphios, the little two-toed progenitor of the domestic horse. The find at La Brea, if it proves what it seems, will strengthen their contention that there was once an interchange of life between the two continents. Now, again, I haven't covered these in this series before, but I have pygmies with pygmy horses, pygmy skeletons, Tennessee, Arkansas, all along the Mississippi. They find dwarfs, pygmies. Now they classify them differently. So, this is kind of the Lord of the Rings thing again. And so yeah, miniature horses, miniature people, pygmy horses, pygmy people. We're finding giant, 50 foot, 100 foot long, 100 foot tall men, horses, and everything in between. What was America really like a few hundred years ago, 1,000 years ago? Seems like it was quite a magical place. So this is an old map from the 1500s. I know it's probably going to be kind of hard to see. The quality isn't the best here, but if you look here, this is the Great Lakes, but the Great Lakes don't really exist. So the Great Lakes would be like right here, and it's hard to see. But you have Shilaga, Okay. Newfoundland's here. Bacchus, the land of Bacchus as it's called. Okay. Canada is the desert. Canaan, Canada, the desert. Here you have the pygmies. I know it's hard to see. Here you have Katai. So Chicago was called the Great White City. Peking was called the Great White City. I've hypothesized several times in the past that the land of Katai, the land of Prester John, Prester Khan, the Red King, the Great King, the Priest King, was the was America, and that Katai, the capital of which was Chicago, the White City, the Great White City, which is now on the Great Lakes, which didn't exist in the previous age. It was also when you read the stories of Kublai, that outside of his dominion was the land of goblins and pygmies and dwarfs and giants, beast, dog-headed men. Um, so in between here, you'd have Montana. In the mountains of Montana, they found dog-headed men. Tengut, down here by California, kind of, I would say that's maybe Mexico-ish. So I just love this map. That article kind of correlates what we've been talking about, and they've been finding pygmies all over America for a very long time.